introduction to the law of he says, if in a country there is equality before the law, where those who rule and those who are being ruled can appear to feel that they are being equally treated under the law, then in that nation there can be said to be rule. I will move fast forward to 2017, when we have yet another record. Now the storming of the legislature by the FFC, and the eve of the enactment of the law, passing of the bill.
Without wasting much of our time, I'm going to call on the second panelist, and that is going to be Mr. Kato Francis, to take on the floor and convince us on the access to justice and the rule of law in Uganda. You are welcome, Mr. Kato Francis.
Good to be here. Thank you for coming, and I don't take your presence for granted. Thank you. I want to thank Mr. Edson and the people who organized this function. Thank you so much. As our scene says, access to justice and state of law in Uganda, has it manifested anywhere as regards to our Ugandan perspective? Well, we shall discuss various aspects regard to that topic, but before I go any further, I want to first briefly talk about what does access to justice mean as law students of BSU, and how does it be manifested in our current situation in Uganda. We all know that, especially in Uganda today, if you have any legal problem, you can either hire a lawyer or represent yourself. But before you represent yourself or get a lawyer, what do you do first? What do you do in regards to your rights as, let's say, Ugandan or any other concerned citizen? I'll first talk about access to justice in different bodies that help us to protect and implement the rights. For example, if, for example, I have been arrested as a suspect, where do I run to first? Do I call my lawyer? In case I don't have my lawyer, what do I do? So, as a legal profession, you need to first understand your right. What rights do you have as a person or as a citizen? And we all know that the Constitution, under Chapter 4, clearly states various rights of Ugandan and everyone. And one of the rights under Article 21 Clause 1 talks about access to justice, and this includes the right to freedom, the right to liberty, and many others. When you also go further under Article 28 of the Constitution, it talks about the right to a fair hearing, and other articles which also talk about the rights of Uganda. So, if your right, for example, the right to freedom or the right to liberty, when it is violated, do you keep quiet? In case you keep quiet, what happens next. So, as a citizen, when your right of freedom is violated, you run to where you can access justice. And my question to you is, I know we have had so many challenges here and there. You may have an issue, and you need justice. When that issue comes to you, where you always access that justice? I'll ask my moderator, for example, if someone sexually assaults you, not saying you've been ever assaulted, but what if it happens? Where do you run to?
If it were me, I would run to court.
You run to court. For what? Thank you. Do you know that process? How do you go to court? Do you know that process? Could you briefly tell us, if you don't, how you proceed to court?
To begin with, you either have, personally, I have a lawyer, personal lawyer, who I will contact, and then the personal lawyer will, me and the personal lawyer, together with the personal lawyer, we continue with filing of the documents. Once I will contact my personal lawyer, and then after contacting my personal lawyer, we'll go to police for the case to be registered, because that is a criminal case. And then from the police, that is when we proceed to go and seek for justice in court. And that is how the proceedings will begin for what? For my case.
Thank you so much. You've had that position and what you can do. So, as our topic today, when your right is violated, how do you go about it? How do you access justice? Like she said, she will first go to police, report, and after reporting, they open up a file, and then from there, the file can be transferred to the state attorney, being sanctioned, and then later on, takes in court. So from there, you've seen at least she has, in any way she has been helped, because first she went to police, opened up a case, and after opening up a case, the file is open, then it is sanctioned by the state. And from there, it can proceed to court. So the justice system, in that regard, has worked together with, what's your name? Helen, to access justice. And as you know, in Uganda, there are always challenges you face in accessing justice. Sometimes you go to police, and when you go to police to report, you find somehow misplaced, or they want bribes and other things. But at least there are some people who don't do that at police. But in any way, if you have not been helped, then there are other avenues where you can address your issue. So we also have other ways of accessing justice. For example, if you don't, for example, if you cannot afford a lawyer, let's take an example of those marginalized groups of people. And I think those are the most people who have been affected by this problem of accessing justice. Let's give an example of Batwa. I think most of you know a group called Batwa. It's in some remote area of, I think Chisoro, yes, Chisoro. And if you look at, if you compare that specific group of people with other groups over the country, it has been so much affected by that. It has been affected more to access justice because, first of all, they are very far, they are very poor, Like they don't know what is happening in the country. So if you're a lawyer, I know you're a legal, you almost come in the legal profession. If you get such clients, or if one is your relative or your family member, what do you do to help such people? And how can they access justice? Under our constitution, we know that everyone is equal. We are all equal. Despite of your social, economic, or political differences, we are all equal before the law. So, if you're helping your client to access justice, don't look at the political side of that person. If that person is poor or rich, or if that person is like of any other, let's say is from a different affiliation, I mean like religious affiliation, you should always help that person access justice if given a chance. And after accessing justice, we now turn to the rule of law. If someone has accessed justice, does really the law works? And if it works, to what extent? As you all know, in Uganda or in other countries, the rule of law cannot work when that society or a country is not democratic. Most times, rule of law is very hard in despotic states or states ruled by tyrants and other big-headed people, presidents. And my question to you as students, do you think the rule of law has really manifested in Uganda? And if it has manifested, to what extent?
Thank you very much. I think the rule of law has manifested in Uganda, but to a smaller extent. Because you find that some provisions in the Constitution also do not agree with themselves. So what about the application of them? For example, if they say we are all equal before the law, then they will go to Article 98 and say the president is immune. But as long as he's still in power, he will not be charged of any criminal offense or what. So I think it is to a smaller extent.
Thank you so much. As you all know, in any democratic society, for the rule of law to manifest, you must all be under one law, you must all be equal. You cannot say rule of law is in a country where people are not equal. The law which applies to Helen cannot apply to the neighbor. And to my understanding, I don't think that's rule of law. Rule of law means all people are treated equally and they have to respect the same laws that govern them. Of course, rule of law has got various principles, and one of the principles is supremacy, and which is a constitution, which is a grand law in any society. And in Uganda, I think we tried to have various constitutions. Those who did constitutional law, who have knowledge about constitutional law and constitutional history, at least you know how the constitution has changed. I think the first constitution came into place which year? Who can tell us the first constitution? Yes. 1962. The second, the third, then the last one. But other people say 5 because they say this 1995 was amended from the former constitution. But anyway, there are 4 constitutions which recognize it. And my question is, if Uganda, we have a constitution, has it really helped us as citizens to implement the rule of law? I need an answer from you guys. Has it been implemented enough to sustain the rule of law?
Thank you very much. Personally, I would say that having a constitution in Uganda, it has helped us so much to implement the rule of law to some extent. However, to another extent, these laws have been used wrongly and applied wrongly in one way or another. An instance, we've seen gun-wielding men arresting people, even at courts. We have seen circumstances where people have been arrested with force when they are peaceful. So meaning that as long as this constitution that we have is used and is well used by the people that are supposed to enforce the law, then probably we'll have the rule of law in Uganda. But if it is not, then to some extent we'll keep having laws, but inactive, not inactive. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We also have another principle which talks about the sovereignty of the people. You know, in any country or any society, if people are not involved in implementing the rule of law, we cannot say that the rule of law is going to work. Take an example. We may claim that we have laws in Uganda, but if people have not participated in those laws or in making such laws, then we cannot say that the rule of law has manifested. In our constitution, I think under Article 59, which talks about the right to vote, we can see that every person has the right to vote. Any person is in parliament, the president, all the way from the local councils to the president. So you can say that at least rule of law has been implemented in Uganda because all the citizens participate in making such laws. So another principle which we can also talk about in regards to the rule of law, the principle of respecting or protecting our rights as humans. In Uganda or entirely the whole world, we have different instruments which try to protect our rights. And internationally, we have various treaties, covenants, among others. And among the treaties, all the treaties which protect human rights, we have the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And this Declaration of Human Rights, universal, is the one which governs, or it's an umbrella, international, which governs the rights of the people in the whole world. So, under that covenant, we see that there are various statutes which try to protect the rights of the people in the whole world. And among those statutes, we have the right to the Act Against Torture, the Act Against Slavery, and others. So, when you come back to Uganda, we've seen that we have domestically also enacted various acts which try to protect the rights of citizens. And we have the Act Against, we have acts such as Children Act, which protects the rights of children, we have the Divorce Act and Marriage, which tries to protect the rights of the families and others. So, at least in Uganda, we have seen that the rule of law has clearly manifested. Then, my first principle under the rule of law is on the separation of powers. And under the separation of powers is we have the three arms of government: executive, judiciary, and the parliament. And if you see these organs, you will see that they have tried to protect the rule of law. The parliament makes laws, the executive tries to implement, then the judiciary tries to interpret and make decisions in regard to those laws. So, to a large extent, I would conclude and say that the rule of law has been manifested in Uganda. However, to a smaller extent, the rule of law has not been manifested. One of the reasons is we have no political will as a country. Let's take an example. As this person who said, the parliament makes laws and then they are interpreted by the executive. And we have seen such scenarios where people go to court, they are granted bail, but after being granted bail, they are rearrested. We all know the famous case of Chizabesje, where he was arrested with other 22 guys and they were taken to military incarceration.
Thank you so much, Young Gamsaka.
The president of this land, other members on the board, students, and all protocol observed. Happy to be here. I'm called David Innocent from the Uganda Law Society, and I'm an advocate practicing under legal aid. Now, I've had various discussions here. It's good. And I appreciate the leadership behind this club, because this is a very good open for all of us. Also appreciate that you take time to pass the office and invite us. Whenever time has allowed, we shall always be here. So now the topic here is access to justice and the state of the rule of law in Uganda. Now to begin with, justice has already been talked about. We must all know what is justice. The main topic here should be the state of the rule of law. And what is the rule of law? It's simply observance of the laws. That's the rule of law. Now, Uganda, maybe briefly before I could go to that debate, the Uganda Law Society, I hope you all know what we do. If you don't know, today you must know that as law students, you will never practice law anywhere without the signature of Uganda Law Society. It's the body mandated for all lawyers. And under that body is the law council. I hope you've heard about it. It's in charge of disciplining errant advocates. So when you finish here, you go to Lord Government Center. When you pass, you come and join us on the other side. So Uganda Law Site has several committees. We have a legislation committee, you have the legal aid, and we have the planning, we have so many committees. But also one of them happens to be the rule of law committee. As you know, Uganda Law Society also is mandated to advise government, advise government on that aspect of rule of law and also other various legal aspects. And it is also a board on various government entities. The judiciary is a member of the Uganda Law Society, Law Council itself, all these other bodies that have a legal underlining within them. There must be a member of Uganda Law Society. So there is no way you can avoid Uganda Law Society as long as you're going to practice law. Now, that's enough background. Let me go to the topic. So, as you are aware, the 1995 Constitution, I don't know if you've interested yourselves to know why we've had some difficulties in accepting total rule of law in Uganda. It all begins with that Constitution. Who were the framers of that Constitution? Who participated in that Constitution? My brother here talked about the legal notice number 1 of 1996. And he thought that judge these people, why are they doing all this? Now, I don't know if you must have, most of you must have studied jurisprudence. Is that true? If you've not, you're going to study it. Now, please, when you begin that topic, that subject, I want you to pick out a certain theory of Kelsen. You read it and appreciate it. If you appreciate that theory, most of your questions will be answered. But this Kelsen here, he did a lot of research on governments. He was a judge, he was a philosopher, he was also a lecturer at Vienna University. So he made some good research for us. And under him, under that theory of his, the Kelsen theory, there's a doctrine of a revolution. Those of you who have read the Kelsen theory. But what I picked from him is that every government that comes into power tends to make laws that will legitimize this. Every government that comes into power has to make laws that will legitimize. Even if you happen to be a president today, you'd also want to make laws that you know will favor you. So how do we do away with that problem. That should be the only issue. Because when you look at the NRM is talking about, which came into power in 1986, there was a constitution which they disagreed with, and went to the bush. When they came, there was a constitution which was made in 1995. Now, one of the biggest problems of that constitution is that the makers of that constitution are also tasked with executing that same constitution. They are judges in their own case. So what do you expect? So many issues. When you look at the whole chapter about the president, actually, the president has observed. Me, I have not seen him going against the law. Whichever law he has done, whatever activity he has done, has been within the law. It has been within the law. Now, if you have issues with the members of parliament, then I was reading. But then he went ahead. We have so many laws that are redundant in Uganda here. That's what caused Susan Chukula. Have you read the case of Susan Chukula? Yes. So Susan Chukula was convicted of murder. I had an opportunity of visiting Lucilla prison, the upper prison where they keep those convicts. Now, when you are sentenced to death, the place where they keep you, you can't tell whether it's in the morning, whether it's at night. You just stay there. You don't see light. You don't see. You always in darkness, apart from the bulbs that they switch off. You can never know since if it's morning or it's evening. And because of lax state laws, because if you are convicted of death, you're sentenced to death, the following day you should be hanged. And that's what took Kisu to court. She said she was being tortured because they sentenced her to death. So she waited to die. They couldn't kill her. So she decided to go to court, petition court, and that's why court said what? Set the period within which the person should be executed. So the death sentence itself is still valid in Uganda. But what we don't have are the executors. We don't have executors, people who are supposed to do what? So now, should that be blamed? If a judge has done his work, they've sentenced a murderer to death, and is not executed. Should we say that the law has not been observed? The law has been observed to the maximum. Now, if you're not executed, that one you shouldn't. You cannot really blame. You can't blame the law. Likewise, that is just an example of all other areas of the law. One of the reasons why the Uganda Law Society set up a legal aid project is to make sure that even those people who cannot afford services of a lawyer can be assisted. These people don't pay instruction fees when they come to us. They don't pay. Their cases are worked on for free. Now, if you are ignorant, if you are in a society, your husband has beaten you, your wife has beaten you, your properties are stolen, and you don't know that the God can assist you, should we say that there is no observance of the laws? Ignorance of the law is not a defense. So if you've decided to sit down on your rights, then the Limitation Act comes in, which you've read also. You've read the Limitation Act. So sometimes you decide to sit on your rights. So what is happening in Uganda, I can say maybe is the enforcement of the laws. But we have one of the best laws in the region. And if you state a fight, you can win. I've had someone who said that the president cannot be sued. But you see actions of the president, you know the three arms of government. Not so. Now, the president falls under the executive. Now, if the president made an order that is against you, I hope you've also read, because there are not every order, not everything that he makes should be going to court. You must have read in a young one when you start studying law. If you are late, at least in a year two, you must know that you cannot go to court. You just pause to waste God's time, like as if you have no business. By the time you go to court, you must have appreciated the case of auto garage. Not so? You must have the cause of action. So now, if the president, they may have seen so many cases against government, the president can be sued through the Attorney General. I've seen so many orders, I've seen so many people being compensated. Now, if your lawyers are not helping you, if not assisting you to execute those judgments, of course we know there are crooks in government. We know some of the guys in forces and what, but also after some time, they are defeated if you know the right thing, if you know what to do. Someone cannot have the uttermost authority to defeat you because there are several laws. Maybe if you decide to give up, that's when you can be frustrated. But at least the observance, even those people who do the actions they do against society, at least they also, they say themselves. They observe the law. And even in whatever they are doing, they know, I'm doing this. It's a wrong. But I know I'm doing it against a weaker party. This person may not know their rights, may not know why. There's an instance where a district decided to take away people's land. And because there were a few people who are poor, who didn't afford fees, they came, and when they came, we assisted them. Those people the actions were retrieved. We told them, you guys, you must pay these people. If you're not paying them, then you cannot pass a law. In some societies, an LOC 5 is a big person. If someone is not, doesn't have knowledge of the law, you may think this is now the chairperson has ordered a road here. but those people don't know the law. So now if you sit down and you join a group of such people to cry, then really you cannot blame the law that there is no observance. That one aside, there is also, because I know that there are some individuals who violate the laws. But when you look at these people who do that, what is their interest? Why are they doing that? Why are they doing that? We go back to the consent theory. Most of the violations I've seen are political. They are not even. Most of them are political. I don't think the government can take interest in fighting a battle of cows, goats, your house, your wife. They cannot. They will fight interest feeding them. And to avoid that, I've told you, consent theory made up a very good rating for us. So, I believe, in my conclusion, I believe that with the amendment of a few, before I even close, the three arms of government, like what I was telling you, one of the major entities, players, in making sure that these laws are violated is the legislative arm. Now, which type of people are in parliament? For God's sake, which type of people are in parliament? A person doesn't even know, does not even know anything to do with the law, but those people are passing laws which should be observed for the next 50 years. That was 1995. So from 1995 to 2020, when was the constitutional amendment or removal of the term of the age limit? 2016? 2017. Now, this post-certain amendment was in 1995. They had no hopes that actually the president would even reach 75 years. They say now they also, another reason for that law, like what Kingston here is saying that every law that the government makes is that suits it. Because now when you look at 1995, Milton Obote was around 74 years. They knew if they left that age open, he was going to come and compete with them. And for him, he was a scholar, and these guys, most of them were farmers. So now they closed that gap. But they did not know that after very few years, the president will be 75 years. Now when the 75 years caused all commotion and what? Removed the what? So what we are saying, had we been represented by people of sober minds back then, at the time when this constitution came into place. All these would have been catered for of the rule of law in Uganda. I would conclude that to a larger extent, there is observance. Now, the other loopholes have been pointing out. It's the only problem why we are facing these dynamics. And we employ or and we sober minds, even these challenges would have been catered for. Look at an example of which country. Is it Guinea where there was a coup and the man came and said, for me, I've just owned this dictator here, so now the power will go to the citizens. He's still in power. He has refused to go away. So now, it's not only really a problem of Uganda, whatever we are facing. I've seen so many graduates here, so many around the country, putting on t-shirts, this one's red, this one's yellow, this one's... When there is a law that clearly states how a person should contest it.
Saying that the president has not violated any law. Some of us were, shaking a little bit because we don't agree with him maybe. If there is anyone who doesn't agree with him, please, this is the time for you to now tell us why you really don't agree with him. And I think, personally, I will not agree with him because what will be the fate of the judiciary doing its job, and the executive not doing its job, the legislative not doing its work, the police not implementing what has been done? Shall we keep debating about this, talking about this in law school, and nothing is ever being done about that? What is the use of checks and balances that we have? Why do we have it in the rule of law? Secondly, as I heard that I know I have a right to access to information that I have to access. I am very lucky that in my village or where I come from, I could be the first law student to come to a law school or maybe to even never go to school. What is the fate of the people deep down in the village whose transport system is so low that they cannot even go for the pro bono services they put in Bara, and yet there are those people deep down in the village, someone who cannot even move to a nearby trading center to access a pro bono service. Yes, the pro bono services are there, and it is so unfortunate that those who are supposed to be receiving the pro bono services are back there seated, and those who are not supposed to be receiving them are the people actually receiving them because they cannot get to the points where the pro bono services are. What has the law society, or what has the judiciary done for those pro bono services to go out to the people out there? I will request a few other people. You can point out any panelists you want to ask.
Excuse me. My question would go to the last speaker. He talked about the president not having maybe gone against the rule of law. I'll give you an example of what happened with the Mabati incident. All of us are aware about that. And the people that had committed the offense, they were from the executive, which is headed by the president. If they said yes, and they said that these people were in position to take these iron sheets, and the president saw the incident, why is it that he was not in position to bring these people to the disciplinary committee, which he also heads, and he dismisses them, or he tells them to stop, to take away their offices, because that would have been an example to the rest of the executive members. Because the president's word is always final and no one goes against it. Second, you talked about the executive having, to a larger extent, the executive having issues with the laws amending. The legislature makes the laws and it puts them out to the people. And it's the responsibility of the judiciary and the executive to implement them, to put into place. Why is it that most people complain about the police, complain about the ministers that don't do their work, that don't come to the people to attend to their complaint? What happens when the lawyers themselves cannot attend to the people just because they want money? How about it? Isn't it also a loophole that we are supposed to look at? Not only the legislature, because the legislature does its work and it brings them out to the people. What happens to that? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I don't know if these are comments, but I would seek for the opinion of the two panelists. No matter one of them presented when I was at the round. But to begin with, is what is called the multiple organ failure. When you have failure of the heart, the kidney does not function and the liver doesn't function. Therefore, you have a dead person at a certain point. In this view, if the judiciary is not independent, parliament is not independent, and executive is also, and they are captives, it means you have a dead state. I don't agree with someone who said there is total observance of the law. I don't know if those are Ugandans, I don't know. But if you address yourself to the Public Order Management Act of 2013, basically section 5 and 10, if we try to analyze them, they indicate that someone who holds a public rally or a public meeting without, or he or she violates anything that is contrary to what the Public Order Management Act provides, that offense attracts sanctions. I don't know if you still address your mind to Article 29 and specifically D. Everybody has the right to assembly. And if you read the case of Uganda versus Lake Tongo and the Honorable, the court clearly nullified those provisions, and they are still existing. The police is enforcing them. I don't know if the police now has the duty to legislate. I think its major duty would be to prohibit. Then, if you look at the scenarios of the other one gave, people came out clearly to say that these ministers were not really, there was no criminal concept to convict them. Yet some of them came out clearly and said that they actually admitted that they took those actions. And my reading of the law is that if someone admits, makes a confession that he or she is guilty, there is no any other thing you can do. There is no more evidence that you need, just convict. Therefore, in that way, I see that the rule of law is really not observed in Uganda. there is a matter to do with bail. Bail is a constitutional right that is available to all Ugandans and to every Ugandan and everybody. If you observe the scenario of Sidinya and Sewanya, they are paid, they spent 16 months in prison. Their bail was subject to conditions after 16 months. And if you clearly observe, I don't know if their case is being attended to. I think it will die there. You saw the matter of Kakwenzi. So meanwhile, as the public is fighting very hard to fight for an independent judiciary, people in the judiciary, especially judicial officers and the law society that claims to be perfecting this kind of rule of law should really address themselves to reality other than just claiming that they are effecting the rule of law. I thank you, but I would seek for your opinions over the matter.
I'm not timer, as you see. My view on whether the rule of law is observed in Uganda here is really twofold, depending on which side of the dike you are. When you look at how we have evolved since, of course, like most of the panels have highlighted on our constitutional history, you really see that the law we claim to be the vanguard of our protection and all that, by the name of John Sewanagi's law, who was, of course, DP President General, and DP being the oldest party in Uganda, of course, had seen it all, had seen how it had evolved over time. Just to have been a participant, I think in the 2001 general election, he had offered himself as a presidential candidate with hope of also ever going to State House at that. So when Sevana was asked to give his view on how the political, dispensation, how the electoral process had gone, Sevana had nothing to say, but rather that for continuity, the status quo should be maintained. In essence, he had resigned to reality.
Gentleman was, after his office, arrested and charged with various offenses. And we know very well that it is either the charge is being dropped or he has been tried and sentenced accordingly, that the president must come in, issue how to give what we may call a presidential pardon. But now with the same man, Kaigura, the president goes ahead to give the presidential pardon before even the man was sentenced. So should we also say that it was really done in accordance with the law, when we all know that a person must be charged, tried and sentenced, and then it's when the president can come in, exercise his powers as granted by the Constitution. That aside, we also know about the Wenzulu Omsinga of Wenzuru Kasese. The same individual was quite some years back arrested on prisoners' offenses, which were all left in the dark or in the light per se. But then, earlier on, or just previously, the same person was also released. However, his release was surrounded with a lot of what my Paris friend calls hit hackers. Yes, we all know that he was granted what we call amnesty. And amnesty is related to prisoners' offenses, that you are accepting that you committed the prisoners' offenses, and then we can now release you. So, after a long struggle of all the advocates and other lawyers trying to say that the man gets a fair trial, and those trials being adjourned frequently, at the end of it all, what we hear in the news is that he has been released. But what or how has he been released? And the people back home are very happy that our moment has been released and we are now settled. So, is that also, or should we turn to be acting in accordance with what the rule of law really wants or demands from us? Then my final part of it, this is a simple question. My learning friend Edson, we have had a recent scenario, we may call it that, involving alien skin and champion kudo. And I know you are very interested in things to do with human rights. Now, we have access to justice, whereby, as the moderator said, rule of law must prevail. If at all in accordance with public interest, I am to take on institute a case against IMC for refusal or for dishonoring the bursary that was granted champion Budo. Now, I wish God blesses it. If you are the judge in that regard, would the law act in protection of alien skin, or it would act against alien skin in as far as the right to basic education under Article 34 of the Constitution is concerned? Thank you very much.
And everyone of us in attendance. If I answer Levis's question, I would want to also, and it's good that I am speaking fast, and you have a chance to react to this also, to the fellow panelists, the last speaker particularly. You say the president has committed no offense. You have not seen him break the law. I want to very respectfully disagree. That gentleman over there, Benson Chidingo, did we see the president inquiring or who authorized the mission and maybe subsequently dismissing them, or the recent tortures? When you talk about the quality of MPs that we send to Parliament, and by the way, you meant and shake hands with you on that it is lacking. But Article 24, protection from inhuman treatment and torture. We have seen it. Okay, then the MPs have made the law. How about the observance of the same? The people who are supposed, isn't there torture in this nation? I wouldn't want to go further than that. My friend Levis, could you acknowledge the aspect of public interest litigation as enshrined under Article 51 of our Constitution? Article 50. Alien skin is a guardian. I want to put in some quotation because I am not sure if he is a legally recognized guardian under the Constitution and the Children's Act. I do not know. Be that as it may, if guardian, if alien skin is not a guardian as in the laws of Uganda, then that also would bring his thing into question. But we have a child here who, like you rightly pointed out under Article 34, has a right to basic education. If alien skin, if the other people want to take that child to Kampala parents, because they are claiming the child is always in, performances in this course and is not studying, my view would be that they proceed under Article 50 of the Constitution and seek redress from the court of law, not from the social media. And if the court of law can give them the right to take on the child to Kampala school, then they can go ahead. But I'm also looking at, has the child come out to complain that maybe he's not getting what is due for him? Really, it's a question of debate and judgment. And maybe to sum it up, who has the cause of action? If Alien Skin is saying you cannot take this child and is not a guardian as in the laws of Uganda, can he purport to have a case in this state? Are these people, because they will be simply well-wishers, and if you are well-wisher and you wish well for the child, you do not come and impose whatever that you have, however good your intentions are. The right thing for me, for them to do, is proceed under Article 50 and Article 34 of the Constitution, and have this matter determined by a court, and then the child can be removed from that case and he attains his education.